And welcome back to pawTree Day. This has been quite a day, and I'm just super excited to have all of you coming back on. I've got some wonderful guests. My name is Roger Morgan. I'm the founder and CEO of pawTree, and we declared today pawTree Day. So, and we're getting lots of mileage out of it. It's just been a wonderful day of education and empowerment and fun and prizes. And with me this hour, at the top of this hour, is Dr. Tony Kremer. Welcome, Dr. Tony. And Brooke Sloat, our Director of Product Development. Welcome, Brooke.
Thank you, Roger. I feel like I've never left.
Well, we are excited. I know we've got people coming on and off all throughout the day, and we've got a schedule published so that you knew what topics we would be covering at different times of the day. Today, we are going to have a wonderful session here where we get to really, pick the brain of Dr. Tony and learn all about digestive health, which I know is a topic that many of us deal with our pets. So we'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's have some fun and give away some prizes, shall we?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let me pull up. I'm going to screen share. And I want to show everybody the wonderful prizes that are available here. We have, so if your name is selected in this drawing, you will get to choose any of these items off the website here. You can choose 2 bowls of your choice. You can choose a bed or a blanket of your choice. We have lots of different colors and fabrics and sizes. These beds are luxurious. Some of them are up over $200 in value. And so these are the prizes that you can choose if you are selected as the winner of this drawing. So let's go to the drawing, and Karen has done the drawing, has selected 3 people. By the way to get in the drawing, if you're interested, all you need to do is make a purchase from pawTree today or become a Pet Pro today. And every hour on the hour, we will draw 3 more names. And the sooner you become a Pet Pro or purchase something from us today, you'll be in the drawing for all the rest of the drawings. And right now, we are going to congratulate Stephanie Martinez from Texas. Stephanie is a brand new Pet Pro today. So congratulations, Stephanie.
Congratulations.
Wow, one of the newest to the pawTree family. We are excited, and right here in Texas. How about that? The next winner is Amanda Scherhammer from Utah. Congratulations, Amanda. And the third one is Vanessa Lopez from California.
All right. Good luck. Congratulations.
And these are awesome prizes.
We will send you all an email later this evening and let you know how to claim those prizes. So that's exciting. All right. We have a lot to cover here, and I know Dr. Tony has a lot to share. I'm going to do one more screen share, and I'm going to show a video that I think will tee up this topic very nicely. I'm going to go to our YouTube page and find here our Gastro Pro Plus, and I think this video will tee up the topic.
Gastro Pro Plus is a great way of avoiding seeing your veterinarian. Probably one of the most common reasons I have pets coming in to see me is for GI issues. Upset tummies, killer flatulence, all of these things. So Gastro Pro Plus is a combination of probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes, all of which help keep your digestive tract happy.
A probiotic is a dormant, dehydrated, live microorganism. Adding the prebiotic to the product allows us to give food to the good bacteria so the good bacteria can colonize the gut even more. We added digestive enzymes that could help break down each individual ingredient.
Gracie likes it. I was actually surprised. The first time I put it on top of her food, I thought, I don't know if she's going to like this or not. But she ate that part of the food first.
All dogs should take Gastro Pro Plus, no matter of their age, no matter of their breed, no matter of their health status, because it's giving them health from the inside out.
All right, there you have it. And I know Dr. Bernadine in that video said all dogs. We could add all cats. This is a product that works for dogs and cats. But Brooke, take it away. Let's see what we can learn from Dr. Tony in this session.
All right. Well, as you know, poop is a big deal, and digestive health is just a big topic, as was mentioned. Because who wants to have their pets have diarrhea or vomiting, you know, et cetera. So, Tony, what is important for pet parents to understand?
You know, I think when we talk about new diets, nutrition, pet supplements, I mean, what system is more important than our digestive tract when we're going to have that as our main topic? And so a lot goes into that, and making sure that everything is running correctly throughout the body is so important to pet owners, because if it's not, it causes some of the worst problems that pet parents are going to deal with: diarrhea, vomiting, and bad gas. And nobody wants any of those in their household any more than they have to.
That's a really good point. So how can a pet's poop tell you that they're having some digestive issues?
So there's a lot to be able to learn from your dog's poop. And it's something that a lot of people don't want to think about, but when there becomes a problem, it's one of the first things that people will bring to our attention. And one of the most common problems that pets see their veterinarian for. So when I tell people in general, when you look at your dog's poop, we want to kind of think about a good old Tootsie Roll. And we don't want their poop to be too hard or too soft. And color is very important. If you see red in the stool, that denotes blood, and that typically comes from lower GI problems in the colon. If the stool is too dark or too black, that denotes some type of bleeding that occurred farther up the chain in the stomach or the small intestine, and the blood just happens to be digested and turned dark by the time it exits the body. And then probably the last thing is the light color, the tan, the sandy colored stools are usually indicative of some sort of maldigestion, some way, shape, or form. We don't have the proper enzymes necessary to make that stool the normal color.
I just learned something. So thank you, Tony. Excellent. Okay, so are there things that you can help a pet parent understand or recognize that their pet is having digestive issues? What are some of the things that they should look for? I mean, you mentioned a few things. You mentioned the bad gas, but
sure. You know, again, all those things, vomiting, diarrhea, and bad gas. You know, again, to a certain extent, they happen to all of us. You know, a certain amount of time, but again, that should be infrequent and just not very often. So when we do have something that is consistent or out of the norm, especially if we all know what our dog's normal day is like, and that comes to how they act, and you know what's normal for them as far as how much they sleep and how much they eat, and certainly the same goes for what comes out of them. If we see significantly different stool come out and it happens more often or changes and looks tremendously different, I mean that's definitely a sign to be aware of and to get checked out. Again, things like that will happen periodically, but again, I'm looking for a significant detour from what that pet's normal is. So that's definitely
right. And sometimes when they have a gurgling tummy too, I notice that that's a precursor to something that happens later.
I think just like us, too many rumblings down there are probably not a good thing. So again, if things are quiet and your food is being digested properly, that typically doesn't happen. But once they have digestion or they start to have a lot of gas, the gurgling belly is going to be a precursor to probably something we don't want to see.
Right. So we're talking about a precursor and some pretty disgusting things, and I know it's past lunchtime, so that's a good thing. But what about pets eating stool? What's up with that? What does that mean? What does that tell you?
Well, there's a ton of controversy on what that really means, because it's something that I don't think anyone's really absolutely proven, but there's definitely some theories to it. And so when it comes from a very common problem with puppies, and I don't think they've, some of the theories go all the way to, a immature, small, defenseless animal trying to erase the signs that they were there, instead, so that they weren't able to be picked up by a predator, all the way to, situations where pets are doing that, animals are doing that to because they're missing something in their normal diet, they're trying to recapture those nutrients by eating the stool. So those are certainly all possibilities, or a combination of both. And certainly there's some things that are even habitual, and we've got dogs who eat rocks. I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a big explanation of why they do some of these things, but those are a couple that we can kind of deal with. And certainly if we have a situation where we're not digesting our food properly and we're missing some nutrients, then it's time to supplement, certainly be on a better diet, and then supplement to make sure that we're hitting all the bases and making sure that there is nothing lacking. And with a dog who's on a very good food like pawTree, and if we have a supplementation for GI issues like GastroPro Plus, they're still doing some of these other things like eating their poop, I'm not that worried about it. Other than checking their stool for parasites and some other things that can happen because they're doing that. Those are things that the veterinarian would check on an annual basis and make sure we're in a problem as well.
Yeah, you mentioned, you talked about puppy, and what I've learned is that what I've been told is that sometimes that's a learned behavior, because the first few weeks of life, the mom cleans up the puppy and eats their stool, and and maybe it's for the reasons that you say, to race, so that no predator knows that they're there, but that is also sometimes a learned behavior. We also tell people that so if you have two pets, okay, and one has a stool and the other one eats that one stool, it's really the pet who deposited the stool who has the issue, because they're not digesting everything, right?
Yeah, so totally makes sense. When you throw more than one pet into there, it can be very confusing for pet owners, and they're there to scold the dog who's eating the poop, when like you said, maybe in the background we've got a medical issue or a digestive problem in the other pet. It's a good point.
Yeah. So what causes these things to happen? I mean, is this like a genetic thing, or is it a dietary thing, or what causes pets to eat this stool? I'm focused on the stool thing because so many people are so grossed out by this, and we get a lot of calls.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those are possibilities. I don't think there's any specific, known reason why that actually happens. And so again, when pet parents bring that problem to us, we deal with it in that manner. We make sure we check what they're eating, and if we can get them on a better food like pawTree, absolutely, that's going to cover some of the basis of digestibility and missing nutrients. And then, like I said, with going to a probiotic, there's a lot of people taking probiotics. It's a very common thing and known to be very good for our health. And so having something like GastroPro Plus, where we have the probiotics, the prebiotics, we've got those digestive enzymes in there, and we know at that point in time they're going to digest their food. We know they're getting proper nutrition, and if there's still an issue with that, then we're going to maybe look at more medical things and delve into that deeper. But specifically, like I said, and then if all those things check out and animals are still doing it, it becomes more of a behavioral issue, and we would kind of deal with it on that level instead of a medical or nutritional level.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you mentioned, so in GastroPro Plus, there are probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, and herbs. So the probiotics are that good bacteria, right? And we know prebiotics feed probiotics. That's why you have prebiotics, even though they're a sugar, they're there for nutrition for the probiotics. Can you tell us a little bit about the digestive enzymes? Because I think the digestive enzymes and the herbs are the things that really set us apart, in addition to the amounts of colony-forming units of probiotics that we contain in our product. But we have all of these things together that work synergistically. So can you tell us a little bit about the digestive enzymes and what they do?
Absolutely. I mean, even go one step, back is to note that there are very few probiotic supplements for pets that that do much more than just give them a probiotic. So when we talk about GastroPro Plus being such a comprehensive, wide-reaching supplement, it attacks these problems in a multitude of ways. And so, like I said, you have the probiotic that's going to balance off the bad bacteria with good bacteria. This prebiotic that's going to feed those and nurture those good bacteria. When we start talking about digestive enzymes, there's a whole host of things in there. You start to talk about amylase and lipase and these different things that break down carbohydrates and fats and proteins, and that. Again, that's that right there is the building block of what the body needs to break down food. And so adding those in makes the supplement tremendously different than other supplements and more comprehensive than other supplements. And then just adding in also, we talk about the gut soothing herbs that are in here. It's just icing on the cake for again, trying to be wide reaching in the therapies that we're giving there. And like I said, many of those herbs are anti-inflammatory in nature. A lot of our issues with GI, especially ones that are not a obvious sickness, a lot of them are inflammation problems. And dogs that get stressed out from separation anxiety, which we talked a little earlier about in our Ask the Vet segment, which is going to be a big issue for a lot of pets when these pet parents go back to work all day and go to school and everything. They're going to be lonely and they're not going to understand this. So, separation anxiety, stress colitis when pets, go to daycare or to a kennel. Sometimes they're just at the beginning, they're not used to it. They're overwhelmed. All those things can cause, an inflammatory situation in their digestive tract, giving them, what could be transitory diarrhea, which would get better on its own. But hey, nobody wants any diarrhea. Most dogs who get diarrhea and can't hold it and have that in the house becomes a major source of concern for the pet parent, because it is a disaster. So something we really want to avoid. And like I said, this multifaceted approach to a gastric and gastrointestinal supplement with GastroPro Plus is awesome.
Oh, thank you. And we do have in ours, when we formulated this, we looked at everything that was in the market, including things that were sold at vet clinics. And so we have more colony forming units, more probiotics, 12 billion colony forming units, which is really huge. It's more than anything that is out there, along with the digestive enzymes and the herbs. I mean, it's a pretty amazing thing. Now, we do sell these, they come in capsules. Tony, can you explain why it comes in capsules and how people should feed it or give it?
That's a common question that I get as well about it, because most things that come in capsules, you give in a capsule for a certain reason. They don't want it to immediately be available in the mouth, or immediately want a little time release as they eat it, to make sure that capsule is in the right place and at the right time for digestion. It's kind of just the opposite here. The capsule is just really used to keep that supplement in a protected state, free of moisture and whatnot, so that we don't activate these cultures that are dehydrated. But what happened is, if it wasn't in a jar and you open the jar, immediately the clock would be ticking on how long those microbials would live. And so in this situation, it's kind of like individually dosing the pet and being able to protect and increase the shelf life of the supplement. Along those lines, the same thing occurs. It's also a recommendation that if you don't use the full capsule on the pet's food, or they've eaten more than once a day, and you want to have that in all the food that they eat, then keeping it in the refrigerator for a short period of time is going to slow any reduced amount of microbes that are going to be there. But again, the capsule is there for more of a protective type of thing for the actual supplement than actually anything about administration.
Let me just quote here. a question. I'm getting a little feedback. Sorry. Okay, I think that's better. It's related to this idea of refrigeration in the capsules and so forth. And I know, ours, they're in capsules. They're also in a blister pack so that they're, sealed from any type of access to moisture. But the question here from Joe is, can you address refrigeration, please? I've had people tell me that our probiotics can't possibly be any good or alive because they would have had to be refrigerated, and buying any probiotic that isn't refrigerated is wasting your money. I've used them. I know they work, so I know this is false, but I would like some ammunition to back up my anecdotal evidence.
Can I go with that for a second?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I have seen a lot of human probiotics that are not kept in the refrigerator. So yeah, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, what's interesting about this is we did a lot of research before developing the packaging for the probiotics, and it's the blister pack that is the key. Once you push, and I apologize, I don't have one in front of me, but once you push the capsule through the blister pack is the thing that is protecting it, okay? You push the blister pack or the capsule through, you open it up and you pour it on the food. Now, if you're only feeding half a capsule, you take that other half of a capsule and put it, I put it in tin foil and put it in the refrigerator because you want to, you're right. Now you've opened it, the clock is ticking, exactly what Tony was saying. But it's that blister pack that's key. If you have people that have jars and they open and close the jar umpteen times, the stuff on top might be fine, but when you're getting towards the middle and towards the bottom, that stuff is dying out. So I think, Joe, the person that you've been talking to has been taught something by somebody or whatever, but in the case of ours, 100%, those are active and living and viable organisms. The only time they become, once they get exposed to air, that's when the clock starts ticking, and that's when you push it through the blister pack. You do not need to refrigerate these at all. Only as I had mentioned before.
Wonderful.
I had a question up too, Roger. I was going to get that.
There's one by Heather right below that, if you see that.
If you give your pet enzymes, do they produce less on their own? That's an interesting question. Tony, do you know that? I would need to research that myself.
I'm just going to make a guess that there are certain systems in the body, like our endocrine system and hormones, that are very much a feedback type of system where if it senses what's out there as to how much it's going to produce. I don't know that that's the case in enzymatic situations. Don't quote me on that, but I have never had that be an issue that that by giving this we were going to reduce what most of the time we're giving it to make up for a lack of normal production. So yeah, I haven't heard that to be a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. If the pet needs the probiotic other than for a preventative, just, an everyday thing like a vitamin, if they're needing it, you're giving it to them because they're lacking something. So, but Heather, I jotted down the question and I'll get back to you with an answer. But I think this is the correct answer. So, okay. Let's see.
Questions?
How does someone give their pet probiotics?
Was it how often?
How often? Yeah.
So my feeling on it is if they're going to be on it, they're going to be on it every day. And then I also feel like, there's a thought that maybe puppies eat twice a day, and then most adult dogs theoretically only need to eat once a day. I would just say that it's probably best to have, every time they eat, to have the enzymes, there when they eat the food. So if you're going to have them, if a pet eats twice a day, then I would split that dose up over the course of both meals so that the food is bathed in that powder when it's eaten.
Yeah, and it's actually we put cinnamon in it, and that it has a really nice cinnamony taste. Sorry, and so they really like it. They actually really eat it up. So they do really like it. Are there any other questions? I'm seeing gastro's amazing. I'm seeing praises.
There are a couple. Let me jump. I see one here from Keely. She has a question for somebody else. My question is, I have a golden who turned 1 in February, and he gets hiccups a few times a day. I didn't know if that was normal once they aren't tiny puppies. Anything to worry about? Could Gastro Pro Plus help?
Wow, good question. I don't know. Yeah, hiccups super common in puppies, and then as they mature, just in general, it's not a common thing that people will ask us about. So I would just think it's like, the same thing as us. I don't know how worked up we get about getting hiccups, and if it's certainly not tremendously frequent or something just really, really bizarre, I don't think it's a big thing to worry about. And whether or not it's a reason to give Gastro Pro Plus, most dogs have other reasons that would make it something that would be beneficial for them. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm seeing a comment, last thing here from Alicia, and it just went away. She said, Gastro Pro Plus is the reason I am a pet pro. My dog was pooping blood, and 2 vets didn't know why. 1 week after gastro, and she was pooping normal, and ever since. Gastro is why I believe Malgi is alive still. So thank you, Alicia. Great testimonial. And we love our Gastro Pro Plus. This stuff works. It's amazing. I think we've covered quite a bit. You know what's in it, you know how to feed it, and you know it's good. What more do you need to know?
I just go back to the whole thing about gas, because we didn't talk a lot about that, but that is a problem that, we just don't want to have with our pet. And again, you're sitting next to your dog, you're sitting next to your significant other. If that happens, are you really going to blame it on the dog, or is anyone even going to believe you? It's so cliche, right? So we just don't even want that situation to happen. And so this does wonders for that. And I definitely know my dog, that was an issue that I had before I started using it. And it definitely made a big difference stopping that bad gas.
For you and the dog.
Problem for me.
Okay. More. Brooke, I see just a couple more. We've got just a few more minutes and a couple more questions. So let me go here to Katie. My pup supposedly has an ulcer. Antacids only help for a few days after the prescribed round. What else can I do to help? He burps a lot, gurgles a lot, and regurgitates a lot. He is on prescription GI food.
Well, sounds like he's got a stressful life. We might have to do some things to decrease his release of acid in his stomach. I don't know. Again, it is hard to say what that's from. There's certainly a lot of medical reasons that could cause, ulcerations and irritations in the stomach that it could even be bigger and badder things than just a digestive upset. So, I would definitely see your veterinarian and make sure that that gets dealt with, and that there's an underlying that they find an underlying problem for why that's happening. And in the meantime, being on a diet that's more digestible, maybe a little bit more bland, being on something like Gastro Pro Plus to help digestion, and maybe tax the body a little bit less in the digestive process is going to be a good idea. But again, gastric ulcers, certainly in people, if they're chronic issues, something needs to be done to get to the bottom of the actual problem and get a definitive diagnosis.
Okay, wonderful. And then here's another question from Alicia. What about a dog that craves grass? I've heard differently whether it's okay or not okay for dogs to eat grass, usually grass in the springtime after the snow.
Yeah, this is another one. I can't tell you how many times I've been on TV and been asked that, and it's something that again, the big question, and again, you can only theorize, and there's just a lot of thoughts on there of what's going on. Again, there's some people who think it's a nutritional deficit from their food. There are people that think that it's they're already having some issue, gastric issue, and they need to throw up. So they know that will make them throw up, so they eat grass and they vomit. And then I don't know. I've had dogs that are perfectly normal and they just ate grass. I think they just kind of like doing it. And it, again, it's a problem because it is a gastrointestinal irritant, and when they do it, they're gonna throw up. And so it's something that I say again, very common issue. Lots and lots of people ask about this, but we certainly don't have very many longstanding repercussions from dogs who do this. I would just say in my dogs, it became a training issue. When we walked them, we did our best to tell them no when they started eating that, and tried to, really try to break that habit and from a behavioral standpoint, because, it never failed. It'd come inside 20 minutes after eating grass and it'd be all over the floor. So definitely an issue, definitely a gastrointestinal issue, irritant. Why they do it, like I said, there's many thoughts that you can have out there. Some of them you can deal with. If they are nutritionally imbalanced or they have a deficit, good food and good supplement will cover that base. And if they keep doing it, then I think more along the behavioral lines and whatnot.
Wonderful. I've got another one that just came in from Jen. I have a dog that is 8 and he has started vomiting almost every morning. And if not every morning, then every day, he will lose his whole stomach full of food. The only answer I've received so far is he needs an antacid, such as famotidine, to stop the acidic vomit. But I'm concerned because I know it is not normal for him to throw up that much.
Yeah, I would agree. Periodic vomiting in dogs and cats is more common than it is in people. And one thing we can attribute to that is that dogs use their mouth as their hands. If we had to pick up everything everywhere with our mouth, we'd have a lot more people with COVID probably too. The problem is dogs do that, so they're more susceptible at getting stuff in their mouth that that's irritating or whatever. And so I think that plays a role in it. Is maybe we compare it to how often we would accept vomiting in a human being. But that being said, when you start talking about vomiting every day, that to me sounds like something more going on. And certainly before I would just say, oh, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, I'd have things checked out, blood tests run, maybe even an X-ray of the abdomen, and look at some things, a little cursory examination and some basic diagnostics, and let's make sure we're not dealing with something, because many diseases, liver failure, kidney failure, a lot of hormonal problems that can all cause pets to decompensate, and many times they start with throwing up. So it could be a sign of a much bigger thing. That sounds excessive to me, and I would have that checked out. Again, we talked earlier about cats, periodically, once every couple of weeks, vomiting is a little bit more acceptable in that. We talk about hairballs and using hairball remedy, all a good thing, but this sounds a little bit extreme to me.
Wonderful. That's all I see, Brooke, on the comments. I hope I didn't miss any for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So, yeah, this was excellent. Tony, thank you so much. You've given us some really good information. I've learned stuff this time too. So this is awesome. I love it. Thank you.
I love it too. Look, it's great to see all these names sliding down the side of the screen, and they're interested in taking better care of their pet. I love that too.
Well, and I'll give a kind of a final wrap-up question or comment here, and then also let you know what's coming up for all those viewers who want to stay with us live at the top of the next hour. But one thing I will say, it's been really interesting. I agree with Tony, looking through these comments and the number of people who have sincere questions on this topic, the number of people who have already tried our Gastro Pro Plus with incredible results. I've seen so many testimonials right here with people who are just absolute living, breathing evidence of the fabulous that Gastro Pro Plus is. And I would just invite you, as the founder and CEO of pawTree, we have formulated our products to absolutely make a difference and truly be uncompromising. And that means uncompromising in every way. The quality of the ingredients that we put into it, the choice of ingredients, the formulations themselves, the partners we use to formulate, the manufacturers we use to make the product. I mean, we are just absolutely uncompromising. Why? Because that's the only way we are going to have this amazing vision for this company come to life, which is to create a world filled with unconditional love where pets and their people thrive. And this isn't about selling pet stuff. This is about helping pets and people thrive. And that's how we do it, through uncompromising quality of product. And so I would just give a passionate plea here at the end. You've spent the time watching this. This is obviously a topic that is near and dear to your heart. You've probably had some issues with one or more pets in your family. I would just really encourage you to try this product. And the best thing that can happen is we change your pet's life and your life in the process. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you'll get all your money back, because we do have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's how confident I am that our product works and that it will really deliver results. And at the end of the day, that's really all we want. And if the product didn't deliver results, we don't want to charge you for it. So I invite you, go online and purchase it. Get with the pet pro who invited you to this live, and go on their site and purchase this product and try it for yourself and see what you think. And that's a good segue to the wrap up, which is any purchase made today will get you, make you eligible for the drawing that we will be doing at the top of every hour all the way until 8 o'clock Central tonight. Or you can become a pet pro, and that will also get you entered into the drawing. And we will be doing another drawing here in about 25 minutes. So it's not too late to go make those purchases and be part of the next batch that we for the drawing. And for a little foreshadowing, I mentioned, becoming a pet pro gets you into the drawing. The next hour at 4 o'clock Central, we will be talking about the business opportunity, what it means to become a pet pro. We've got two of our amazing pet pros, a husband-wife team, Matt and Trisha Deming, who will be joining us live, and they'll tell us a little bit about their story and help provide some information for those who might be thinking about joining pawTree as an income opportunity to share our products with others and get paid and rewarded to do that. So we'll hear from them in just about 25 minutes at the top of the hour at 4 p.m. Central. And for those of you who didn't get enough of Dr. Tony Kremer, we will have Dr. Tony back with us at 6 p.m. Central. And we will be talking more in that session about joint health, mobility issues. It's another very sensitive topic, and I know Dr. Tony's got a lot to say about that. So, Dr. Tony,
thank you. I got one thing. Someone typed in, Maylin is a groomer. Are you going to be talking about ear infections? I see so many chronic ear infections. What would you guys recommend? I would recommend that you watch the first product segment that we did with Dr. Danny on allergies. We talked about our ear wash and ear dry, and that's an absolute solution. You can also call into the pawTree home office and we can help you there, or get with the person who invited you and they can tell you all about it. That stuff is amazing and gets rid of the ear infections. Wonderful. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Dr. Tony. We'll see you back at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. See you at 6.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.